Before we continue looking at Python, let's look a little bit at the code editor that I'm using, which is Pycharm, and there is a free and a commercial version. The free version will do everything I need it to do. The commercial version gives you some bells and whistles. You may or may not need them. Here in Pycharm, I'm in my editing area. And here I can type my code. I can do whatever I need in the way of coding. If I hover over certain things, then it will give me code hints. Of course, it's not going to pop up the code hints when I'm asking for them. And it will try to guess sometimes what it is you're using. So if I start typing print, it gives me now the code hint for print, giving me an idea of what I can do with it. So code hints are fine. Sometimes it tries to second guess you, and sometimes it does a good job, sometimes not so much. Use the standard editing that you're used to in any word processor. And here in Windows, Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste, Control-X for cut. Use your mouse to highlight text. Backspace and delete to delete characters. Up near the top, I've got these three little, or well, I guess they're five little horizontal lines. That will give me my menu. And if I click on it, I now have my file, edit, navigate, these menus. And under my file menu, I can start a new project. I can say new and create a new file. I can look at recent projects and switch between them. I can save as a different name, close the project, rename. Settings allow me to customize what I'm doing. And under the Python part, I can go and see my Python interpreter, and I can add libraries. If you're doing it from the command line, you would use pip or UV, but here I can add libraries. I can make some changes or some settings for the debugger, look at some tools. There are a number of things here I'm not going to go through all of. Under the editor portion, under general, one thing I always set is change font size with control mouse wheel, so I can zoom in and zoom out on my code. That's especially useful when I'm making videos. I've got some choices in code editing on how it handles that. The font I can control, and again, I make my default fairly large when I'm doing videos. I can change the typeface. I'm happy with the typeface it comes with, or defaults to. I can change my color schemes, code style. The file and code templates let you set some templates up for when you first start a new file. And under my Python script one, I've got a template that is automatically going to, when I create a new file, put this information in, including whatever the file name is, the date, and my main definition and my name check. So when I start a new file, it's automatically going to have that information. Then there are a lot of other things you can look at and play with and see what you need to change. 90% of it I never even mess with other than have looked at. right here will open and close my project window that shows me my files. So if I click on it, now I see the files that are in this project. If I right click on one, I can copy it, paste it, do a number of things with it. I can open it in Explorer, which is the file manager in Windows. So I can work with that file a lot there. When I create a new file, it will create it in that folder, and I can hide it when I'm done with it. Down here in the bottom, I've got some choices for a number of things. I can open the console if I want and be in the Python console, and I can run code and such. I can look at my packages, open a terminal window. So again, I've got a number of choices there. Right here in the top, it will show me if I hit the run button or the debug button, what program it's going to run. If I've created a new file, it's actually probably going to be set on the previous file. And I'm going to move this window, resize it a little bit and get it over here, because I think if I don't, it will be hidden by my picture-in-picture. But the run button will run the last program you've ran. If I click the drop down for it, I can change the configuration, and I can say current file if it's a new file. And then that's the one the run button and the debug button will work with. I've got here the little settings that will let me run anything but go into settings, check for updates, or tell me if there's an update. Under my file menu, the edit menu, I've got cut and copy. Again, I use the shortcuts, select all. So there's a number of things there. View, I can change toolbars, such, some navigation code. So I can use some of the tools that will let me generate code. Refactor, basically adjust the way the code looks. The run will let me run the code and run the debug, but I've got the other shortcuts and things for it. And I accidentally over here on the right clicked on one of the line numbers and the red dot there. That sets breakpoints for when I want to debug, which we'll look at later on as we're working on some programs. If I right click, I get a number of things. I've got copy and paste, rename, and I can run and debug from the right click as well as the open end. I tend to use the right click as the way to run my programs if I've started a new program, so a different program showing up here at the top. When I right click, it's always going to run this file. And when it runs this file, then that will become the current one showing up here for hitting the run button afterwards. I can stop a program that's running by clicking here. And of course, since I stopped it, it gave me an error. Over to the right on my console window, if I click the horizontal line, that will close that. So that's some basics for using Pycharm. If you're using another editor, you'll learn the ins and outs of it. I do suggest you maybe go to JetBrains, download Pycharm, take a look at it, see if you like it. The other editor I will use sometimes is Zed. And if I am programming in Fortran, I use Z because there's a plug-in for doing my code highlighting, my color coding, and such for Fortran for Z. Both are great. Both are free. Well, if you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe.